So hello there. I just want to make a quick video. Won't keep you for long. I've been kind of busy, I guess, the last couple days dealing with a really nasty backache. I mean, I don't know, low magnesium. But I've been painting a bit more. I finally got some paint. Work on the old Axis and Allies map. Started doing the ice wall. And obviously, I mean, I'm going to change up the colors because, you know, the Sahara Desert is obviously not green. But I darkened up the lines. I had to alter some lines, like you should be able to get to whichever Midway Wake from Japan in one move, and I had to alter a few of the lines just so that it accommodates the original board, even though it's, you know, an azimuthal equidistance map. Also, I've been just trying to work on me a bit. I mean, all the different notes on my wall from doing research and whatnot. I mean, long story short is I still struggle with my addictions, anger, rage, whatever. I pray Yeshua Jesus forgive me and heal us all. So sometimes I just don't feel like making a video or whatever. Feels like dragging yourself out of bed, like that old expression. Sometimes I guess I'd just rather study or read comic books. Now that summer's here, thank God I can start going bike riding again. I gotta get my other red Jamis fixed up. I gotta replace these old hydraulic disc brakes. They gotta have gone bad by now. But yeah, I mean, forget about it. I've been just cooped up for too long all winter. You know, thank God for hobbies, reading comic books, drawing, painting, whatever, right? My tiny little apartment. Which also brings me to another issue, I guess, which is kind of laughable. And that's the idea of being accused of certain transhuman cloning cults accusing me of being this government G-man agent, you know, on the payroll. It's like, really? I can barely afford to eat, much less afford furniture. And people want to accuse me of being on the payroll? Welcome to my four-walled world. Yeah, right. Yeah, but lately I've been just working on this Axis board. I love to draw. All these are freehand. The first one was that one. The last one was that one. You know, growing up I was always a bit of an introvert. I mean, to hide from my psychotic father, I hid in comic books. Totally used comic books as a way to hide from, you know, insanity and abuse, and at the same time it sort of taught me what a hero and a villain really was, and I realized who my dad really was. But I'm pretty sure he knew about flat earth. He was trying to build a Tesla coil in 1972. Grandpa had Q clearance, whatever that means, 33rd, Operation Paperclip, the OSS. If he didn't know, then I don't know who else would have known. But I was just talking about that with the store clerk when I went to buy paint today, Operation Paperclip. But anyway, yeah, so I mean, thank God summer's here. My hobbies have been keeping me busy. This back injury, prayers go out to all the people suffering from chronic pain. But the last week has just been nightmare land. But I mean, little rivalries and whatnot online aside, I can't really control that. One thing I can do is I pray God forgive me for all the times that I was acting like an enraged asshat, picking fights and getting into fights with people. It was kind of like the same thing Owen Benjamin was talking about, how the internet is exactly opposite of real life, where you win when you disengage, not engage. And especially with, like I said, the cloning cults and whatnot, I won't mention any names, but I mean, like, the truth be told is that there's some people out there that hate me with a passion just because I called out the alien agenda and certain people, and they were up on a pedestal, and apparently I wasn't allowed to call out these certain people. Well, too bad. And I mean, like, it also brings me to the other topic of blocking people, you know. Some people think it's cheese, that you shouldn't do it or whatever. You know, people's expectations of you online. I'll let you in on a little secret. It doesn't matter what people think of you, especially online. If you want to block somebody simply because they annoy you, this is your social media platform. You have the right to do that, which is hilarious because I think ODD TV, Matt,
just unfriended me or blocked me today because of this post, and that made me giggle. I was like, right on, dude. You got to work it out. I mean, if I said something that pissed him off, he probably felt inclined to block me. Good on him. I don't care. The truth of the matter is I know a lot of his friends can't stand me. I have picked fights with, Eric Duguay and Savanier, over the years, mainly just for ripping off Matt Powerland, the guy who actually put Flat Earth on the map. But yeah, like, there's things that just irk me, People who attack me online or call me a liar or whatever, yeah, okay, block them. Abusive people, yeah, okay, block them. But even like little pet peeves, like if I post something and then someone comments trying to change the subject or hijack the conversation, you're going to get blocked faster than you can write your name because it just annoys me. If you don't like it, too bad. And again, to mention Owen Benjamin, I'm pretty much on the same page how I've always felt about blocking people. If they don't like it, too bad. In real life, you could end up meeting these people and getting along great. Or, whatever. But a lot of it just comes down to thick skin. Some of these people just take things the wrong way, or, I know I've been guilty of that. I'll take things the wrong way and blow up on people. Lately, trying to work on myself, my anger, and, not being the jerk off I used to be like my dad. Just cruel, almost like vindictive and spiteful because you feel like you have to do it before they do it to you. And it's counterproductive and retarded cycle of abuse thinking. So, yeah. But I mean, if I've blocked somebody and I was wrong about it or I was actually being a jerk to certain people over the years, then I apologize. But to guys who pick fights with me or, like I was saying before, accuse me of being some G-man paid shill like my grandpa or something, you got to be crazy on acid if you knew me or see what I got to work with on the monthly, day-to-day, just to survive on probably less than $2 a day. And that whole bearing false witness is definitely something I don't want to be accused of anymore. I pray God forgive me for all the times I was sinning in the past. I mean, to this day, I still struggle with lust, addiction, rage. But as far as exposing people's nakedness, too, low blows and dirty tactics, I pray God forgive me for all the stuff I used to do like that. But therein lies the obvious insanity of getting into online arguments. Like I was saying with certain cloning cults, is no matter what you say, they're not going to change their mind. They're locked into that mindset for whatever reason. And no matter what evidence, no matter what proofs, no matter what you show them, they're going to still worship that alien agenda. Because the alternative is horrible to them. And as far as people accusing me of this, that, or the other thing, again, I don't care. It doesn't really hurt me, affect me in any way, shape, or form. What bothers me is the idea of on a worldwide scale, all these people that get hurt feelings and they're willing to do that. Like, it's one thing if you don't realize you're bearing false witness, but it's another if you do. But that's pretty much why I stepped back from that whole conversation, is because I just don't want to deal with it. I realize that nothing I say to them specifically is going to change anything. So why bother? Let people make up their own minds. I mean, I've showed more than enough evidence, like this meme I made myself that I'm showing you right now here that popped up on the screen. There are proofs for the Bible, starting with the Torah codes. If people don't want to go there, that's on them. Like, I got into an argument with a friend the other day, and rather than admit I was right, he accused me basically of lying. And I'm like, dude, you can't do that. That's the most cowardly thing I've ever seen you do. And it's in one ear and out the other. Which also reminds me of my old man. I mean, my dad was like that. He was a cruel prick. This is him right here. And yeah, his attitude was everyone else is wrong, he's always right. That level of denial, I don't know how anyone could let it get that bad, but even after he survived the hit, went septic from all the knife wounds, stab wounds, he started getting liver failure and all this disease that was on the blade, other victims' blood and whatnot, contaminated. He got some hepatitis and nonsense. His dying words were basically, it's all your mother's fault. So for me, I've been in training my whole life to fight monsters. And so if people out there in cults or Freemason Satanists, I don't really care if they hate me or whatever. I get to live in their heads rent-free. It doesn't bother me at all. The things that bother me are things that are happening in my personal life. Or the knowledge that people are out there, pretending that things aren't the way they are. So I guess here, just looking at some of my backup pages, I was watching an interview that Bobby Fischer did with Bob Hope and Johnny Carson back in the day. More and more I'm starting to think this guy was an MK Ultra victim. But again, that whole topic, MK Ultra, much less transhumanism, it's iffy to some people. They just don't want to go there. Whatever. It is what it is. But I mean, it's like I always say, like Rob Skiba says, don't believe a word I say, research everything I say. I'm just researching what other people have published. With the exception of a few hypotheses and my video debunking the Big Bang Theory, postulating that the sun and the moon are oppositely charged electric plasma circuits, I can't even really say that I could lay claim to that even. I mean, it's not like other people haven't thought all this through before. There's nothing new under the sun. However, long story short, I guess that's all I wanted to talk about. Just a few things. Make a video out of a sense of randomness to sort of just touch base with my subs here. But yeah, I mean, again, I was watching Barricade Garage and Young Ripper talk about these false french fries that have been going on lately. That's what everyone else has been talking about. But I don't feel the urge or the Holy Spirit leading me to make any videos about this specifically. You get banned from YouTube nowadays, or like Twitter. I'm not allowed on Twitter though. Haha, hilarious. I wanted to also make a video about the new Zack Snyder cut. As I was texting with Rob Skiba and Ali Shiba here on my post, the idea of asking Rob what this Greek translates to when the movie describes dark side. I don't know what that says. I don't speak Greek. But he's basically the devil in the DC universe. And I noted that Steppenwolf had 7 fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fingers and a thumb. My eye kind of caught it on my first viewing, but I didn't really pay it no mind. So I made a post about it. A lot of people didn't catch it, and it's because it's like they give him these extra 2 pinky fingers or whatever. But I thought, was that an obvious Nephilim thing? Or was that like Zack Snyder saw Avengers here and thought, oh, I want that in my movie too, blah, 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 whatever. Was it an actual salute to Nephilim giants? Or was it just sort of a ripoff from Thanos' sidekick here in the first Avengers movie? I don't know. I don't know. But the point of the matter is it was interesting. And then Rob chimes in. He saw the movie over the weekend but didn't notice that Step had 6 fingers. And I'm like, yeah, it was weird. Also, in the comic books, it should be noted, this is what Steppenwolf looks like. He looks human. He's one of these basically fallen angel, Nephilim, new god types from the whole Dark Side storyline. There's supposed to be good angels and bad angels, basically, without using the Christian narrative, but that's because I don't think the comic book writers are allowed to. However, that being said, Steppenwolf was the only character whose appearance was radically changed. Showing the picture from before, turning him from that into this monster, whatever, it seemingly was pretty purposeful, but I don't get it. Why just him? Darkseid didn't have 6 fingers. And I mean, Wonder Woman is a definite Nephilim. She's the daughter of Zeus. Superman is, in a way, a Nephilim. Well, I wouldn't even go as far as say he's a Nephilim. He's more like a fallen angel or a mockery of what our resurrected bodies would be like. However, all that came later, I imagine. I don't know. I mean, I don't obviously buy into all that nonsense. When I read comics, I just like to draw. I just like the hero's journey stories and all that. I obviously don't condone any of that nonsense. And then Ali Shiba was talking about which I prefer. I guess I prefer Christopher Reeve as Superman, but I prefer Ben Affleck as Batman. I couldn't stand Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker. That wasn't the Joker. I mean, come on. Or the Luciferian Jared Leto, whose name means sun worship, an admitted Luciferian, who the rest of the cast of Suicide Squad thought was insane and didn't invite them to any of the parties afterwards. But yeah, she asks basically, what do I prefer, Marvel, DC? I guess equal, but at the same time, the Marvel movies are better. A lot of people prefer DC, but I asked my comic book store guy today, and in response here, I said that DC was doing better than Marvel. He said that's actually wrong. Because of the Marvel movies right now, Marvel is doing way better sales than DC right now. But yeah, even today, since Cootie's 19, his comic book order was late today because, reasons, right? The economy's collapsing and all that. But yeah, at the end of the new Justice League movie, there's this interesting Batman Joker scene, and the first thing people need to realize almost is that this new movie is really two stories. It's the Dark Side Anti-Life Apocalypse story, but it's also the Alex Ross Kingdom Come story where Joker kills Lois Lane. Two different stories smashed together to create another one. But yeah, as far as her asking me what I prefer, I do like, like I says, I didn't mind these new movies. I thought the Zack Snyder cut was way better. I thought the Nephilim thing was pretty funny. I mean, whatever. But yeah, they should have given me the role of the Joker. I would have done it for free. And then you wouldn't have to give it to this weirdo Jared Leto psycho who everybody apparently hated and thought was a creep. But whatever. That scene was pretty interesting. How Batsy and Joker go back and forth. Batman even drops an F-bomb.
As long as you have this card. The truce. But all you have to do is tear it in half, and I'm happy to discuss with you in any way you like why you sent a boy wonder.
To do a man's job. You know, it's funny. You would talk about people who died in my arms. Because when I held Harley Quinn, and she was bleeding and dying, she begged me with her last breath that when I killed you, and make no mistake, I will fucking kill you, that I do it slow. I'm gonna honor that promise. You're good. You almost had me.
I don't normally like cussing in superhero films, but it seemed appropriate. He was just so mad at him at that point. Enough's enough, But yeah, I didn't like the Joaquin Phoenix Joker. That wasn't the Joker. I mean, you can pause it and read that. Whatever. I'm not going to go through it all. We had a pretty big conversation about it. But yeah, I thought Christopher Reeve was the best Clark Kent. That's the way Clark Kent was supposed to be in the comics originally. This symbol of modesty, meekness. And then even now, in recent issues, he's told the world his secret identity. Superman doesn't have a secret identity anymore. That's whack. But whatever, it is what it is. I guess that's all I wanted to say about that. A couple other video ideas I had in the future. I don't know, I kind of just go where I go. Right now, I heard there's protests every Sunday in my town against the slave mask. I'm thinking maybe of going and filming it, seeing if anyone will talk or give word and, maybe make a sign showing this, or this, or this, or this, or any of the other millions of proofs out there that this is all some kind of plandemic. I mean, whatever. I don't know. I guess that's all I got to say about that. So yeah, peace out, baby.